Hello, this is Jason Robinson from Illustration by Design, and this is, as Nasser has already stated, another late night live stream of me drawing Nasser's new book, or upcoming book rather. Um, Secret Comics Presents. It's a horror anthology comic with four different horror stories inside, and it will be debuting on Indiegogo this coming March, Friday the 13th. Actually, it's next month. Yeah. On Friday the 13th in March. So check it out, look for it, and yeah. In the meantime, I am drawing pages for it. This is page 3, I think. Page 3, page two, I think. I'm not sure. Anyway, I've drawn pages 1 through 7 so far, and but I have to go back in, tighten them up. There's some information missing on some of these pages, like this page here needs a background that has some perspective that needs to be dealt with. This page, some of these panels need some more detail in it, and I need to put that stuff in there before I can start inking it, because I can't really guess my way through it when I'm in the inking stage. I need it all laid out in pencil form first. So that's what I've been doing the last few days. I'm going to keep doing it probably throughout the rest of the week, and then I'm probably going to start inking these first 7 pages, so Nasser has something to put on the Indiegogo page for you guys to see, and to draw you in and make you buy the comic book. So that is the plan. Right now, what I have to do, I need to go on my computer and work on the perspective for this panel, because I tried eyeballing it and it didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to. Hold on. Nope, that's not it. Where is it? Do I still have that page? Yeah, here it is. This is what I have worked out so far, just freehand. You kind of make out what's back there, but I kind of wanted it, I don't know, the depth of the different objects in the panel weren't working out. So I got to work that out. I'll do that on the computer, and then from the computer, I'll come back here and light table that computer image onto the final board and draw it there. So that's the plan. So I'll get started on that right now. Okay, thanks. Hey, if you guys have any questions or anything, please feel free to ask. Just type it into the chat, and I'll answer them. Okay, if I can. Anyway, hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are having a great day. If you're in Iowa, hope you are busy doing your civic duty and caucusing or whatever they do up there. Hope you guys had a great Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday. I thought it was a really cool game. I don't watch football. I'm not interested in football, but I will watch the Super Bowl. And I think I watched the last 15 minutes, which is what I tend to do on Super Bowl, and it was awesome. I was rooting for the Chiefs, and that was an awesome ending. I thought it was really, really cool. So I was happy. I was satisfied, and I also caught some of the Puppy Bowl, and I don't know, it wasn't as good. They need more real puppies. They had too many of those little toy dogs. I'm not crazy about them, but anyway, I'm gonna get working. So the screen is probably gonna change in a few seconds. I'm gonna switch over to my my computer screen, Photoshop. So just keep watch, okay? Right there. It's done. No. Hey, the metal. Hey, Timothy Bass. How you doing? Yeah, sorry, I'm at my computer right now, so I can't really. Well, hold on. I'm gonna try to transfer the sound from my um, what is this webcam to my headphones and see if I can talk to you that way. That way, I can still communicate without having to walk back and forth from my computer to my drawing table. So just hold on 1 second, okay? Do you guys hear me? If you guys can hear me somewhat clearly, please type in Y in the chat. You can hear me? Okay, cool. All right.
Okay. So, yeah, I switched from my webcam to my headphones, so I can actually talk while I'm drawing this or working on this page for the layout. I'm babbling. Anyway, hey, Eric Hawkins, how you doing? Good seeing you. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a good night. Good evening. Let's see. From the Photoshop, and what I need to do now, actually, let me pop out the chat so I can see what you guys are saying. First of all, while I'm working in Photoshop. Let's see. Close this. Let's see. Turn this on. And let me go back to that. Move this over here. Pop out the chat. All right. Chat has popped out. Mel says, yes, it sounds like you're speaking via walkie-talkie. Probably. But it's better than me sort of yelling across the room, hoping that the mic from my webcam will pick me up. Because my webcam is over my drawing table right now. And so I gotta have a mic that's closer to my mouth while I'm at the computer across the room. So that is what I'm doing. All right, Photoshop. Let me close this or minimize it at least. Okay, minimize, move over. All right, now I gotta work on the perspective for this box here, this panel here. So what I gotta do is, let me cut it out first. Let me just cut this panel out. Cut, paste, do paste, paste. Move it back to position there, and then reduce opacity. Wow, to what? 30? That's good enough. All right, so I can see through it. Now I need my perspective, my homemade perspective grid, because I'm not smart enough to figure out how to use Photoshop's perspective tools, because I have not learned them yet. I just updated this this Photoshop to what is this? Photoshop CS6. So I'm not even near the most recent version of Photoshop. This is my perspective grid. You can see that. It's basically a pinwheel of straight lines coming from one central point. And so just copy, then paste it on top of the artwork that I want to do perspective on. Grab it and bring it to, I basically what I do, I rough out in my head the rough perspective that I want, and then I use perspective grid lines to make that perspective accurate. So with this drawing, I have a horizon line that is here. This is a horizon line for this drawing in my head. I don't know if it's accurate or not, so I think it is. But I think the problem is that I think I have the staircase too far forward and needs to be pushed back. So I'm gonna just use this perspective grid to sort of make my drawing more accurate. Timothy Best says, how many years has it been since you started drawing? 45, I guess. I started drawing when I was 4. I'm almost 50 now. So, yeah, so 45 years. And I probably wasted a lot of that time. I should be a much better artist for being almost half a century old. So I apologize. Oops, grabbed the wrong layer. All right. Horizon line is wherever your eye is looking at. Yeah, yeah. But all right, I think the horizon line should be up there because I'm looking at it from a slightly bird's eye perspective, and I have an idea of how the walls should be directed, and it should be here. If I put the perspective grid here, the lines for the wall, parallel lines, will be too wide, so I need to move it up further, like that, and that should be correct. Timothy Best says, you sound younger to me. Well, I am very young on the inside. Ask my mom. She says I never grew past the age of 10. So it's probably accurate. My wife says that too. So, but yeah, I'm trying to think. All right. Now, if you're an adult and you look at the kid, the horizon should be at the nape of the neck of the kid. But it's no, because you're higher than the kid, so your horizon should be higher than the kid. It shouldn't be at the kid's nape of the neck of the kid's neck. I mean, if you were the same height as the kid, maybe it would be, or slightly smaller. Let's see. I should probably name these these layers so I won't get them confused. Perspective lines. There we go. That's good. Because nape of the kid's neck is here, and that perspective is completely wrong for this drawing anyway. So I got to move it higher. Again, this should be about there. All right. Let me get a sketching. Let me move that. Reduce this to there. This should be. Okay, that's good. All right. Anyway, I'll start cleaning this up. All right, cancel, save, close that, quit that, quit this. I'm gonna have to close a fair number of programs because this is Photoshop is very RAM greedy. Kraken says, right, but you're looking down at the kid. Yes, I am. I'm looking down at the kid, but if I look straight ahead, the perspective will be here, where this dot is, this central sort of pinwheel center. So horizon should be here from our perspective. The kid is below the horizon line as far as the viewer is looking at. So it's a bird's eye view for the viewer, and so the lines of the room should radiate from our horizon line. Does that make sense? Okay. Nothing ever makes sense. Stop trying to make it yeah, I mean, half of this stuff doesn't make sense in my own head. So it's like perspective is something that has always sort of given me headaches trying to figure out. I remember one time I went to a comic book convention, and what was his name? Really famous artist. Brian Stelfreeze. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him. Really, I mean, to my mind, he's famous. I mean, he's a really fantastic draftsman, great artist. Really popular in the '90s, late '90s. He does a lot of covers and stuff, beautiful paintings and stuff. Really skilled. He was given like a short demonstration on what? No, I went to show him my artwork at a convention, and like he just spontaneously started giving me a lesson in perspective, like right there. And he had this stuff just like down pat. I mean, and it made complete sense when he was a really good teacher. And he probably spent maybe 2 minutes, like just rough sketching, perspective lines and stuff on a scrap piece of paper. It made complete sense to me when he was saying it. As soon as I walked away, I was trying to like remember everything he said, and it didn't go. It didn't disappear, but it started making a lot less sense when I was trying to puzzle it out in my head. So yeah, it's I don't know. It's always been something that's been I found tricky to really get a good handle on. So I'm still trying now. I mean, I have a fair number of books on perspective. And I try reading them, but it's just so much so much math and just I don't know. It's not really physics, but I mean, there's a lot of science involved with perspective and stuff, and trying to figure out exactly how something's supposed to look. I try to I'm able to glean like tidbits of stuff in order to get better at it, but completely understanding why something should look the way it should look in perspective, or trying to puzzle out how something should look in perspective, I still grapple with it. So now found it. I was like, what am I looking for? I was trying to find the first page because of the comic, because I need to use it as reference to make sure that what I'm drawing is consistent from page to page. So that's another thing I'm trying to do with these live streams, trying to just ensure that there is consistency in terms of the various pages. Metal says, hey, at least you are trying to draw in 3-point perspective. I only ever like that for architecture. I mean, the 3-point perspective is great, but architecture is very. I mean, they use a special type of 3-point perspective where it's very angular. It's not. I guess I would call it dynamic. I mean, everything's at like a 45-degree angle, or a 90-degree angle, or a 0-degree angle with architecture. With drawing in general, you can do really awesome, and I've seen fantastic 3-point perspective. It's just another axis you have to worry about. So I like with the first page. I think I did it in 3-point perspective. The very first page where you're just sort of looking down on the kid and his back's to you. That's in 3-point perspective, but it's kind of a headache. Where is it? Is this it? My computer's thinking. It's trying to call up that first page. Yeah, here it is. Is it showing up on the screen? Yeah, it is. There it is. This is in 3-point perspective. And if you look at the perspective lines, which I've hidden, boink, you can see them all. Let me see. Come on, computer. My computer is so. Here we go. There's one. Here's perspective. Whoops. Here are perspective lines for the vertical, which I use for like this giant pole in the middle here. Here's the depth lines here, and then here's the width lines here. So this is 3-point perspective, but again, you just need to sort of, I need to rough it out first, and then I could lay the perspective lines in afterwards to make sure that everything, all the perspective for all the objects in the room, like this desk, this table, the various cylinders in the room, this pole, the walls, they all sort of lined up properly. So it's just, just a little more work. Let's see. Draken says, drawing art 100% right is wrong anyway, so it's okay. Yeah, I mean, nothing is perfect. I think the human eye sort of recognizes that without understanding exactly why. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm not looking for perfection with this stuff because, it's supposed to be like a dirty, grimy sort of basement. I just want something that, to my eye, looks accurate or credible. And I think most people, it's sort of like what they call in the uncanny valley with CGI characters. When you have human figures that are CGI, but it's obvious that they're not. Even if they try to make them look realistic, it's obvious that they're not. I just want something that when you look at it, you buy into the perspective I'm trying to show. That's basically it. So, Mel says, "Oh yeah, I sometimes use 3-point for like an establishing shot or something important. It's just too much for smaller panels and such." Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I want to keep things as simple as I can, but at the same time keep it looking interesting. So, and like I said, I mean, perspective for me tends to be a struggle. So I'm not going to be making complex 3-point perspective or 4-point or 5-point perspective, grids to, in comics that I draw. I just want to make sure that the reader understands where the characters are, where the events are happening, and the story is being told as clearly as possible. So. Now, I think whoops, sorry. Went too far. The back wall should probably be closer. So erase all this stuff. And move this stuff back. All right. All right. Now, as you can see, you have these sort of perspective lines. So they'll help me, I guess, establish where the staircase line steps should go. Hmm. Hmm. Let's see here. Yeah, that's better. I want to turn my head so much. Hey, Officer Earthneck Gaming's here. How you doing? Hello, hello, hello. Hope you're doing well. Hope you had a good weekend. All right. All right, all right, all right. All right, now I'm going to assume that two of these lines equals one step. All right. All right. Hmm. All right. Um, oh, 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 excuse me. Oh, sorry. Computer is freezing up a little. There we go. Let me save this. All right. What else? What else? What else? That garbage. Whatnot. Um, Trash. Garbage bags. All right. Okay, that's pretty good. That's good enough to draw from. So turn that off. Put this back to 100%. And that is the perspective that I want for that panel. I just needed to sort of map it out a little using perspective. That's some of the boring parts of drawing. Although it's not really boring, it's interesting, but it's not as exciting as drawing someone getting punched in the face across a room. So I'm going to take this, save it, flatten it. Let's see. Save it as a JPEG. Ooh. Ooh. Then print it out. What size should this be? This should be what percentage is this? I think it's 123% larger. Let me look at the actual drawing page. Let's see here. Actual drawing page, I have it drawn from. Okay. So no, it should be 137%. 137%. So, but I think I miscalculated when I originally drew it. See page 3. Yeah, it's 137%. So I'm going to take that drawing I just worked on, blow it up to 137%, and then lightbox it onto this here drawing page. So hold on. Let's see, InDesign is open. I'm going to be printing it from InDesign because it takes way too long for something in Photoshop to print out. InDesign makes it much faster for me. Let's see. All right. All right. Let's see. Now, where is it? There you go. Page 2. Something happened. There we go. Page 2. And then replace this. Go to links. There we go. And print out the page. Let's see. Actually, cancel. I changed the size. 137%. There we go. There we go. Bam. That's what I want. 137. I don't need the entire page, just this one panel. So page Page 3. Right. All right. All right. Let's see. Come on, printer. Waiting for a printer is like waiting at the microwave oven. No matter how fast it goes, it's never fast enough. It's like, come on. Mm. Ah, yummy, yummy water. All right. Oh, there we go. I'm dropping stuff. Ah. All right. Flimsy. All right, here we go. Is this on screen? Oh, nope. Wait, turn this off. Remove from screen. All right, there we go. Okay, now I can switch over to my webcam audio. Let's see. Audio. Switch back to webcam. Webcam. Bam. There we go. Okay, can you guys hear me? Hopefully you can. I'm assuming you can. Hold on. Let me turn on my tablet so I can see what you guys are saying. Here's the actual printout of the page, of this panel rather, blown up to the right size. I am hoping. So, need to get out my light table. And then I can trace it and draw it onto the board. As you can see, this is an extremely simple process. No, actually, it's kind of a little labor intensive, but I don't know. This is sort of seeing a sausage being made. I'd like to say that I can just sort of do all that perspective stuff out of my head, but I need to. And the main reason why I did that on the computer is because it's much faster for me. I could have drawn all those perspective lines on the actual board and try to figure it out that way, and then erased and then redrawn and then erased again, and then redrew it, trying to get it right. It's much easier doing it on the computer where I can just move things around, shift them around, change the opacity of different layers, and I don't have to worry about erasing anything. At least with a pencil, and damaging the final board. I much rather, I think I mentioned before, just rather work all that stuff out on the computer, and then so when it finally gets to drawing it on the board, I can just light table it, and it's much faster for me, and easier on the board because I have to go back and ink this, and inking on board that's been erased 1,000 times already can be less than ideal. A little messy. All right. Is this? Oh, you can't see anything. How convenient. Hold on. Let's see. Let me get this working here. All right. Let me change this position of the camera so you guys can see. Can you guys see that? I'm hoping you can. Let me look. Yeah, you guys can kind of see it. Hold on. Okay, that's a little straight. That's kind of straight. That's pretty good.
It's pretty good. All right. Let me just, oops, sorry. Back. Right. All right. Go. Come on, tablet. Go, go, go. Go, tablet, go. All right. All right. All right. People are talking. Um, okay, Eric Hawkins says we can hear you. Good. The wall has a lovely singing voice. I'm glad you like it, Draken. The mouse says yes, way less walkie-talkie now. Okay, cool. Yeah, because I'm using the webcam now. Your process seems so awkward and tedious. Yeah, it is. It goes a lot faster when I'm not trying to explain it while I'm doing it. I just do it. So it's it does seem I know it seems tedious. But when I'm actually doing it, it doesn't seem as tedious as it does now because I just do it. I'm used to it, and I just sort of plow through it. So as you can see, the size is a correct size for this panel. You know, it's 137% as I thought it should be. Now all I have to do is just trace. We'll get in the right position, and then basically just trace this stuff that I have drawn roughly onto the final board. All right. There's all that tape that I just ripped off. Oh, there we go. Just move that there. Okay, that's good. So, interesting. All right. And put this here. And make sure the camera is showing what I want it to show. Shaky cam, sorry about that. Again, I'm just trying to get the camera in the right position where you guys can see what I'm drawing. I think that's good. Okay, that's good. Cool. All right. Let me put on some real music so you guys don't have to listen to the music from the wall. Why not just print a 1 and 2 point perspective thing and then you lightbox over them? Seems like it'd be much faster. It could be, but then I'd also have to deal with again erasing a lot of stuff on the actual board. I want to reduce that as much as possible to give when I ink it, give the surface make the surface as I guess pristine as possible. So whenever you erase, you're erasing part of the paper as well. So and things like moving the staircase back. I would be drawing that and then redrawing it over again a couple times, and again, ultimately, it would be much faster for me rather than drawing things and erasing it and then redrawing it again to just figure all that stuff out on the computer, and then just printing a copy out at the right size and then lightboxing that final artwork. At least for me. I mean, maybe someone else would be able to do it, fairly quickly just by taking 2 pages of perspective grids and lining them up and to where they wanted. I found this is just the fastest way for me. So everyone's different. All right, it's showing up. Let's see. Is that make it easier to see? Maybe a little easier. So are you inking this too? Yeah, I'm making the whole thing. Drawing, penciling and inking and lettering, the whole thing, laying it out. So it will take quite a while. I'm hoping to start inking it later on in the week, but it'll probably more realistically it probably won't be until next week that I start inking it. Like I said, I need to. Nasser wants some inked pages done to post on the Indiegogo site when we launch it in a little over a month. So I want to have these inked by then, and be further into the penciling as well. So, and hopefully by the time the campaign ends in May, we're going to let it run for 60 days, and then we're just going to end it. It's not going to be in demand. By the time the campaign ends, all the drawing, the art will be done by that point. At the very least, the penciling will be done, and then we'll only have to worry about the printing and stuff. So yeah, so we're getting there. We're getting there. I mean, that's the main reason why I'm sort of live streaming me working on this, so you guys will know ahead of time that it is being worked on, and you will not be waiting, a year and a half for me to finish the pencils and inks and stuff. So it is good to know that you will be getting your money's worth, one way or another. Eric Hawkins says, "You're lettering too? You stealing work from Weathers?" No, I don't think so because I'm only lettering this. I enjoyed lettering. I used to letter by hand, but then the computer stuff came along, and now it's much easier. You don't have to measure. You don't have to measure stuff anymore by hand and erase and then redraw and then re-letter and then erase. Um, Eric Hawkins says, I'm nerdy about this stuff. What font have you selected? I use the same font that I've always used, and I've used this font, oh my gosh, 20 years now. What year is it? More than 20 years. 25 years. It's called Wild and Crazy, and it came out from Comic Craft back in the mid 90s. And this font is so old. When I bought it from Comic Craft, it came on floppy disk. Hold on one second. I think I still have it. Um, yeah, here it is. There it is. There's my Wild and Crazy Comic Craft font as it came when I bought it back in the mid 90s. And here's a little sheet that explains everything. All the different. That's it, basically. It comes in uppercase, lowercase, or rather bold and regular. Then comes with these special effects, which I never use. Comes with a bunch of word balloons that, again, I never use. I found it much easier just to make my own word balloons. So, yeah, I tend to use the same font for everything. I mean, if it's there are sometimes when I use different fonts, if it's like some sort of weird, monstery voice or something odd. But for 90% of the stuff I do for work, it's this font, Wild and Crazy. So, but there are tons of there are countless comic book fonts out there, and they're all equally good. That's just the one I first used, and so I liked it. I stuck with it. So why change it? Let's see. What did I do with? Oh, here. All right. Hey, man. Eric Hawkins says, wow, that is ancient. It's not that ancient. I'm young. Let's see. Draken says, yeah, I'm trying to get my artist to give me the proper pages by the end of the month so I can get the letter to do his thing. Yeah. That's the thing. It's like when you have like a lot of people working on a book, and it's important to sort of organize time well. I mean, it's important regardless because the comic has to come out, but when a comic has to go into different hands throughout the process, you have to make sure that the artist gives you what you need in time for it to go to the next stage. So Chris Mason says this is the best comic drawing book show out there. Thanks. Oh wow, thank you. I appreciate that. That's very flattering and surprising. But thank you very much, Chris. I really appreciate it. Draken says, show nobody. Eric Hawkins says, the good old Ames lettering guide. Yeah, I still have mine somewhere. Where is it? Is that my drawing set on my drawing desk? If it is, it's buried underneath a whole bunch of other stuff on here. But I haven't used my Ames lettering guide in years because when you have with computer lettering, you don't need it. I enjoyed using it. It was fun to use because I'm a little nerdy about that stuff. I like the measuring and stuff, but it's kind of obsolete nowadays, so you don't need it. Chris Mason says, "Love your work." Oh, thank you very much. Hey, Farmer Dan's here. How you doing? Good seeing you. Eric Hawkins says, "Blambot has several free fonts available to indie creators. They have ones you can purchase too." Yes, Blambot is a very good site. I found out about them, or him rather, and maybe it's them now. Maybe he's hired people, but I think I first saw Blambot stuff around, I think, the late '90s, early 2000s, and yeah, he does a lot of great fonts. The Metal says, "I use VTC Letterer Pro for most things, but I have several in my library." Oh, cool. Eric Hawkins says, "That wasn't a floppy though." I thought, yeah, okay. He thought I was going to whip out the OG floppy disk. No, I meant the 3.5 inch disk. When I say floppy, I don't have any of the original. Some of you guys may not know what Eric's talking about. Before the 3.5 inch disc that I just showed you came out, they used to have an actual literal floppy disk. The disks were flexible. They were very thin, and in order to add information to, in order to save files onto it, had a little notch on the side that you would cover with aluminum tape. Okay, when that notch was covered, you couldn't save anything to that disk. In order to save information to this, you had to peel off the aluminum foil, aluminum tape, and then insert this big disk. The disk was like, what was it, 5.25 inches? It was a square, but it was a big square that was plastic, that had magnetic a magnetic disk, a flexible magnetic disk inside that you would slide into the floppy disk drive, and then the computer would read it. My dad had tons of them because he used to work at IBM as a electrical engineer. So we had tons of those things lying around. And before that, we had tons of those old cards with the notches in them. You see them in old like sci-fi, movies back in the '60s and '70s. Computer, sort of cards that you would feed into a computer. We had those before that, but yeah, I don't think I have. Yeah, because once I started using a computer, when I graduated from college, the 3.5 inches discs were the norm. They stopped using those OG floppy disks back in the mid '80s, I think, or late '80s rather. Yeah, computer punch cards. Thank you. Thanks, Wild Food. Draken says the 3.5 floppy disk is a floppy disk. It's just been covered with more solid plastic than before. Yeah, and it's smaller. Eric Hawkins says, "Yes, I'm probably the same age or close to it. I remember all that old stuff. I used to do drafting with AutoCAD on those old floppies." Yeah. I never did drafting on AutoCAD though. I just did drafting by hand in high school, but I never got a chance to use computer for it. All right, let me. So, let's see. Is that right? Okay. All right. I think that's it. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. All right. Draken says, before floppies was tapes and then punch cards and then manually flipping switches. Yeah, I've never seen the tapes though before the floppy disks. I just remember my dad bringing home the old punch cards from work, and I used to let us play with them. And then, I mean, this is when I was really young, like in the '70s. But and then, we had a home computer from probably 1980 onwards, and those use the OG floppy disks. Where's my triangle? Where is my triangle? Probably underneath all my paper. Whoops. Oh, here it is. Bleep. Waifu says, Draken, I worked at one of those manual flipping computers. Really? Wow. I worked on one of those manual flipping computers, a PDP-8, as late as 1997. Wow. Eric Hawkins says, it's ridiculous how much you can fit on a flash drive now. My first flash drive was like 48 megabytes and it cost me $80. Yeah, I had to buy. I almost never use flash drives because I usually email my work to my clients. But today I had a client, who asked me to give him the artwork on a floppy disk, not floppy disk, on a flash drive, and to my mind, as far as I knew, when I think of flash drives, I think of like 1 gigabyte or higher, and I was like, this artwork is only going to be, a megabyte. I mean, it's going to be saved as a JPEG, but it's not going to be huge. It's going to be maybe 2 megabytes at the most. But I went onto Amazon. I was able to find flash drives that were 128 megabytes, which nowadays doesn't seem like a lot at all. But yeah, back in the 90s, they would have 80 megabyte SideQuest discs that were huge. They look like 8-track tapes. They were like that thick and like that square, and you'd have to like shove it into the SideQuest drive in order to save only about 80 megabytes worth of information. Things have changed radically in the past 25 years since then. So yeah, it's pretty weird. Draken says, my first flash drive had a lot of skin involved. Huh. Draken says, my uncle wants me to mail a thumb drive across the country because he doesn't understand cloud technology. Well, that's fair enough, I guess. It's make it simple for him. Like I said, I usually just email stuff to clients, but my client, I think he felt more comfortable having something physical that he could sort of have the information on. And some people are like that. You want to have your own copy. If it makes it seem more real than if you're just downloading it off of an email or off of some downloading site or something. That's fair enough. Hoping you guys can see this. I'm trying to. What's the best way? I'm just gonna extend it. Eric Clarkson says, "Oh, I get it now. Flash skin." Yes. Eric Clarkson says, "I use WeTransfer a lot for larger files now when sending them." what do I use? I use Dropbox a lot. Um, Eric Hawkins says I didn't get it until Jimmy read it aloud. Huh. Hmm. All right. Flip that over. Sorry, I'm just trying to. Here we go. Trying to make sure all these lines are square. Come on. Come on, come on, come on. In case you guys didn't know, we're going to be selling these pages as part of the campaign. So, if you see anything you like, just make a note of it so that it'll be sort of like a first come, first serve thing. So, first person who buys a page gets to choose which page they want to buy and so on and so forth. So. Hey, nabbit, what I do? What did I do? Glasses.
I think of fire connected to emotion because when you become stirred up, when your emotions control your action.
Draken says, I'd love to have my campaign like that, but I'd have to have my artist shipped from Japan and switch to traditional art, so that's out. Oh, he does computer art. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That's for me, that's the one downside of computer art. That's not why I don't do computer art. I mean, I just love drawing traditionally, but that's for me, or as far as I can see, that's the one downside of computer art, is that you don't have something physical to that you can sort of, I guess, fans can buy at some point, and get original art. But other than that, I mean, I think traditional art, I mean, computer art is just as good as computer art. My brain mixing everything up. I think computer art is just as good as traditional art. But the downside is that you don't have an actual physical copy that you can give to people or sell to people, or people can have as a souvenir or whatever later on. So, yeah. But I don't know. I love drawing by hand, and the feel of paper, even the way the stupid pencil and ink smudge. I enjoy it. So I'm gonna stick with it.
Fear is the response to loud noises or loss of support. And the emotional response to love is usually the result of a show of affection or of favor. And these two be the emotions with which we start life. Then as we grow up, many everyday things and social situations become associated with fear.
Okay. Draken says, I like digital because my pets can't destroy it. Not easily, at least not directly. Yeah. Yeah. There is that. And you don't have to worry so much about yeah, physical dangers like pets, fire, things like that. I mean, yeah, I guess your pet or a fire can always destroy your computer, but when it's up on the when the stuff is saved up on the cloud, you don't have to worry about it. Um, I mean, this stuff is going to be scanned in, of course, and then it'll be on the computer and I guess on the interwebs if I put it up there. But hmm. It does not matter. It does not matter. All right. There, there, there.
Now, all over the country this month, thousands of people are going to summer camps, where they awake every morning and go to sleep every night, playing to the bugle. So the Alamite Brigadiers thought it would be appropriate to play Bugle Call Rag. Okay, boys.
All right.
Let her roll.
All right. Come on.
Now, all over the country this month, thousands of people are going to summer camps, where they awake every morning and go to sleep every night, playing to the bugle. So the Alamite Brigadiers thought it would be appropriate to play Bugle Call Rag. Okay, boys. Let her roll.
P Money and Ruth say hi, Jiminy Cricket. Oh, thank you very much, P Money. Hope you and Ruth are doing well. You guys are staying warm. Did you guys watch the Super Bowl last night? I don't know if you guys are really that interested in it up in Canada in it. It was a pretty good game. Brad, Pencil for Life says hack artist. Yes, I am indeed a hack artist. I am hacking away at this drawing, trying to get it to look correct. Only ever watch for the commercials. Yeah, I tend to watch like the last like maybe half an hour or 15 minutes of it, just that's usually the best part for me. And it was last night. I mean, it was a pretty close game, and they came from behind to win. I thought it was awesome. But I have no real interest in football. But if I watch the last 15 minutes and the score is like almost a shutout, if it was something like 34-0, I wouldn't even bother watching. But when the score, I think, what was it when I started watching? When I started watching it last night, it was I think it was 16-20, and Kansas City was behind, and it was the fourth quarter, so it was like, they might actually win if they do the right things, and they did. They came from behind and just ended up kicking butt. I was like, whoa, that was a good game. Bracken says, I watch no bowls that are super. All my bowls are normal. I watch Puppy Bowl. I like watching that because I like dogs. P-Mike says, yeah, Draken, but she just got home, so earlier tonight I was ruthless. Ruthless. Pencil for Life says, your art kills. Just want to pop in and say hi, brother. Oh, thank you very much. Your art kills as well, Brad. So yeah, if you guys haven't already, please subscribe to Pencil for Life on YouTube. He is a great artist, and you will probably learn a lot watching him. So, all right. Now to draw the ominous shadow coming from the top of the stairs. That's good enough. I'll worry about that stuff later, all that detail. Let me finish this. Radio. Yeah. I think I need to shift things over a little. Need to shift it over a little. Hey, Nighthawk Warrior, how you doing? Good seeing you. Dee Dee's here. Yay! How you doing, Dee Dee? Good seeing you. I'm glad you stopped by to say hi. Oh no, she's leaving. Why, Dee Dee? Why? That's it. The stream's over. Oh yeah, Dee Dee says I'm doing well. Thank you. I will try not to screw it up. Humphrey Bear's here. All right. There. Nighthawk Warrior says, so what are you working on right now? This is still the comic book Secret Comics Presents. That's coming out next month on Indiegogo. I'm working on that. Is Nasser the writer of this title? Yes, he is. Yes, he wrote the stories, and I am trying to make them look good. I'm trying to take his stories and make them look like something interesting. So that is my job. So hopefully you guys will enjoy them once you buy the comic. Draken says, good luck with that. I'm trying my best. Trying to make a silk purse out of a sow's ear. Nah, that's mean. Nah, Nasser's a decent writer. He's a better writer than I am. Let's put it that way. Because I don't have enough confidence to write a comic book. Nasser does, so I have to give him props. Nighthawk Warrior says, cool. How many pages will it be? It will be 20 pages. I think one of the stretch goals is to increase it to 24 pages, but and we'll see. We will see. Humphrey Bear says, kick Nasser? Yes, always kick Nasser. I think I kicked Nasser earlier in the stream. You go back and look. Nighthawk Warrior says Nasser is great. Also, yes, that Nasser. It's that Nasser, Humphrey Bear. Yeah. Let's see. Interesting. My trusty iPad is frozen up. iPod, rather. My iPod. Let's see if I can fix it. There we go. Hard reboot. Will it work? Oh, yay, it's working. Oh, joy. Put it back in its magic speaker cradle. And now we wait. Oops, wrong one. Back, forward, down. Oops, whoops, whoa. Back, forward, down, forward. Yay, it worked. Didn't want to play any songs that would have gotten me pimp slapped by YouTube, because YouTube is a fussy mistress.
Till I first met you, I was lonesome. And when you came inside, dear, my heart grew light and the
see, Nighthawk Warrior says, so what's this comic about? Short stories, the theme? It's a horror comic. horror anthology. So they're short stories that are all horror stories. So that is the theme. Scary stuff. Draken says, I can't do a 20-page book like I want because the numbers just don't work out to get enough backers to meet the goal. Have to do more pages, which means I'm having to find a way to extend the count in other ways. Oh, cool. Adjusting camera? Well, I'm probably just hitting it with my head because the camera is right in front of my face, hanging over my my artwork. And every few minutes or so, I'm trying to get close to my artwork to see what I'm drawing. My head ends up smacking the camera. Other ways meaning adding pages from another book I have. Okay, cool. Cool. All right.
Greetings from the Andrews sisters. I'm Patty. I'm Maxine. And I'm Laverne.
One, two, three, four, five. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That Hawk Warrior says his music is cool. What is it from? There's various electro swing songs from YouTube. And electro swing is basically music from the 20s, 30s, and 1940s set to a modern electric beat. They also take clips from old movies, old black and white movies, and they'll put it to the same beat. Because I'm a big fan of old black and white movies and stuff, and swing music and things like that. So I kind of got hooked on it. Unfortunately, it's the type of music that there's a fair amount of quantity of it that is not copywritten, so I can listen to it while I live stream. I mean, there's a lot of music that I like, but it's all copywritten material, and my channel will get smacked by YouTube if I play it, so I can't really play it. I can play this electro swing stuff and not have to worry about it. Ah, dag nabbit. I should have done it by hand first. I keep making the same mistakes over and over again. Do it by hand, roughly, and then once you have that down fairly well, then go over it with a ruler. All right, glasses sliding down my face. Nighthawk Warrior says the music sounds neat. I like it. Oh, good. I'm glad you like it. I like it too. It's interesting. It's lively, but it's also relaxing for me, and it's fun. All right. Fast Times at Ridgemont High. FPS agent. FPS agent. Feet per second agent. Is it about some sort of shooter? Some sort of super shooter? I don't know. Describe it, Draken. It sounds interesting. Yeah, if you were able to make a Fast Times at Ridgemont High comic book, I would be very impressed that you got the rights to do that. Let's see. Draken says this book is about a kid who one day gets curious about how the delivery man is able to get so far away from the door in such a short amount of time and then discover an underground world from investigating. Oh, that is cool. I like that. That's a really interesting. I wanted to do the same thing. I always get packages. And I open the door and he's gone. Where'd he go? Where'd he go? Nighthawk Warrior says, "Well, peace out and have fun. Keep this great art up, Jason." Thanks. I will. I will give my best shot. You have a great night, Nighthawk Warrior. Hmm. It boggles my mind how they do that. Yeah, seriously. I think they have transporters. They drop the box off and then they get beamed back up to their satellite, and they get sent to the next location across the planet. Hmm. I've literally been right at the door, opened it when I heard them knock, and they were gone. Whoa, ooh, spooky. Draken, I've only run across two people who didn't get it at all. One was the artist, because in Japan, a delivery man would never do that, and they don't have porches. Or at least he says they never do that. Ooh, spookier. I thought in Japan they had robots do that. That's probably why you didn't understand. They don't have actual people delivering packages. They have mechs. They have giant mechs, and the mechs just sort of fire off the packages on each doorstep. So you never even have a chance to see the delivery man. They're getting close to that. Amazon is having drones deliver. Yeah, I've seen that. I think they had their first official drone delivery a couple months ago. I think I saw that on YouTube. So I'm not sure exactly how that's going to work. At least in a lot of places, because like I live in a condo. I mean, if you live inside of an apartment building, how are they going to deliver packages to your doorstep? By drone. Will the drone come inside the building? Will the drone be flying through the hallways, until it came to your door? How is that going to work? Is it going to fly by your window and then like knock on the window, and then you have to open the window and then take the package from the drone as it's floating in the air, hovering? Shoot the drones out of the air, take the package. That is what I imagine a lot of people will be doing in terms of stealing packages. I'm still wondering, is like, how are they going to prevent that from happening? I mean, you have drones flying around delivering packages. I mean, I wouldn't do it, but if I were of that mindset, I might just take some pot shots at some drones and just see if I can hit them. I don't know. It seems like a lot of risk in terms of money to use drones. A lot of potential for lost dronage.
What do you got there, dear? Or just some stuff for a Halloween party we're doing? I'm a treasure. Oh, I didn't know you were gonna have a Halloween party, Joe. We're just gonna dress up and play.
Drones will have to start carrying defense. Yeah, seriously. You're gonna have drones, carrying your, delivering your package of beef jerky, while it's armed with Gatling guns on the sides. It's like, oh yay, that My Little Pony I wanted is finally coming. All of a sudden you hear like gunshots because it registered your cat as a threat. Fluffy, no! Package delivered. Package delivered. Let's see. Draken says, OMG, I just thought of a cool idea. Little action figure sized delivery drones that deliver packages having to fight through the human world. That'd be a great animated short. Deliver packages having to fight through the human world. I think I would have to see that. I'm trying to visualize it. But I think I might have the wrong idea of what you're thinking of. But it sounds like an interesting idea.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I present to you with the Charlie Puth
like a 12-inch tall android that has to deliver the package, and they travel through the human world that's full of giant humans. Yeah, that's what I thought you meant. So it's sort of like toys, Toy Story. I'll deliver a package to one of them. Yeah. That would be interesting. I guess what my initial thought would be like, how would it be traveling? I mean, you have something that's 12 inches tall. It's not going to be moving that fast. Is it going to be inside of like a bigger drone, like one that's the size of like a small spaceship, and like drive it, like drive an actual drone, a drone inside of a drone, and then deliver the packages? Carrying weapons to defend the package from humans and animals. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. I got you. I got you. So sort of like a gunner, a drone gunner. That'd be cool. If the drones deliver the package, and each drone came with like a small gunner to protect the drone from attacks from humans and animals, that'd be interesting. Remember to give me 50% once you make that comic. Drone flying drone. Draken says not a comic. Will be a 2-minute short, largely played for action and comedy. Yeah, that'd be cool. I like action cartoons. I did animation once for a job, and I found it extremely boring. But that didn't kill my love for animation or my desire to do animation. It's just that animation is a lot of freaking work. It's so much. I mean, hand drawn animation. I don't know if computer animation is faster or easier. I'm imagining it maybe not, but hand drawn animation is tedious, and anyone who does that, I have a great admiration for. You know, you have to have a lot of patience to do that, and I lack that patience.
Yet when wires are loaded with a lot of conversation, listening strength, and travel some distance, something else happens. Let me show you. You see, instead of
What time is it? It's 12. Oh, it's 12:18. Oh wow. So what time did I start? I started at 10:05. So wow. It's already been 2 hours. 2 hours of fun. It's actually gone faster than I thought. Computer animation can be quicker if you employ a lot of tools. Yeah, I guess so. I've just never really looked into it. I mean, I've played with a little animation. Like when I say a little, I mean like just a traditional like bouncing ball type animation in Photoshop. But I've never actually done anything really sort of intense. It's yeah. Animation is another thing that I have interest in, but it's an art unto itself, like perspective, and you have to know a lot of things in order to make it effective, to do it effectively. And I haven't. Again, I have books on animation. I just haven't taken the time to learn exactly all the things you need to learn in order to make a good animation. So, like timing, things like that. It's on my hypothetical to-do list, things that I want to do, but Will I do them? I don't know. I hope I do one day. Let me figure this out. Let me figure this out. Brain, brain, brain. Let's see. I want 3 of them. Last one should be right about here. So the middle one should be measure. So what is it? 1.5 inches, 0.75. All right. Let's make sure. Boink. Boink. All right. Make sure it's square. Square. All right. Draken says, I'd go insane if I had to be an animator. Yeah, like I said, I have a lot of love for animation, and what I used to do when I was a kid, I used to videotape Thundercats when it would come on TV. Then I would I go back and I watch it. I advance it frame by frame. And I draw each frame, so I can make a flip book out of small scenes from Thundercats. But when I got that one job in animation, it was just like, I just realized, and I only had the job for a few days, but I realized over the course of those 3 days that was something I did not want to do for the rest of my life. It was literally tedium, drawing the same character over and over all day for 8 hours, making small little movements. It was just like, oh gosh. It wasn't torture, but it kind of felt like torture. I especially when it's the scene that's like pretty boring. Like, he's like, I think for this, what was it for? It was for I think it was for like a small commercial or small public service announcement involving buses, and this character was on a bus, and he had to like get up out of his seat, walk down the bus, and then walk off the bus or something. It wasn't that complex, but it was just it seemed to go on forever.
Okay, boys, better roll.
Okay, I think these buttons need to be bigger. Don't fall. Draken says, yeah, today there are software that can do the tween scenes from the keyframes for the most part. Okay. Yeah, maybe it's not as monotonous as it was back when I did it. But at the same time, it's like I still, even today, when I watch animation or I watch anime or animated films or whatever, I will still sort of fast forward it or pause it and then fast forward it like a frame at a time just to see what they've done and how they've achieved certain effects. Because a lot of times I'll watch animation, it's just like, wow, how does that look? Why does that look so cool? I mean, I watch a lot of anime. I watch especially like Naruto. I love Naruto, and Naruto has a number of different studios animating it and drawing it. Sometimes the animation is just garbage. on the show. This is one animator, or he's a director, who animates it every once in a blue moon. He'll animate an episode of Naruto, and he is so good. He's so good, and I can always tell when it's him. I can't remember his name. He's Japanese. It's like, I don't know, whatever, Jim Bob Haruto, or I don't know. But I can tell whenever he's working on an episode, and whenever he does, I'm always going back and watching frame by frame the expressions on these characters' faces when they're doing like high speed martial arts or whatever, and it's just I mean, it's just really, really cool to look at. Draken says, got to modify and add adjustment frames sometimes to make it look right, but it's pretty smooth. Also, depending on how you do it, there are more ways that are more like moving a maquette. I'm not sure what I know what a maquette is. So, but it probably has something to do with animation. Yeah. So much stuff to learn. So many cool things to learn. I'm having enough problems just trying to master drawing comic book characters. Just trying to get better at it. Gotta keep plugging away. Gotta keep plugging. Maquette is a skeleton rig. Okay. I know what that is. Anime is a lot of mostly still frames. Yeah, it is. I mean, especially when they're talking. I mean, if you ever watch anime, they'll have characters talking. The only part of their head that's moving is their mouth. I always find that funny. But it's also smart because they can spend, instead of, I mean, unless it's like really sort of great animation where you can see their whole face moving and stuff, but it saves them a lot of time because they can, that's time better spent on like the big scenes where there is a lot of animation and hair's flowing and capes are flapping and all that cool stuff that we love to watch in animation. So it doesn't bother me that much. I just chalk it up to the style.
NBM, your dial is 7660 WEAF, New York.
Interesting. Rah! Stop falling. Let's see. And with digital tech, they don't have to draw the characters at different scales, just shrink them in the program. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of shortcuts with computers. Just like with drawing. I mean, again, that's why I tend to do a lot of that sort of perspective stuff on the computer, because I'm able to shortcut my way through it a lot faster than I would if I were doing it by hand. Because I think, like that first page for the story, I tried doing it by hand, and I spent maybe like half an hour struggling with it, drawing perspective lines on the page and erasing them, and it was just like, oh, what am I doing? Why am I wasting all this? Why am I wasting all this time? So I just went on a computer, and it took maybe 20 minutes to figure out exactly where everything should go, and then I was done. It was much easier. I didn't have to do any erasing. So computers are pretty awesome. They make a lot of hard and tedious things much simpler. Right. Is that okay? I guess that's okay. All right. Better. Let me increase this here. That there. Put that there. Durakin says, I stopped looking at erasing as deleting and more as just another brush, tool in the arsenal. Huh. Yeah, I've not gotten to that point. I mean, I guess I look at it as a brush when I'm sort of using it as to create negative space. Like if I were making trees against a dark sky and I was erasing the black to create the branches of the tree, then I would consider it a brush. In general, I just see it as erasing because I use it mostly to fix my mistakes. So that to me that's erasing. Draken says working with keyboard and mouse means there's a lot of erasing even in the best of times. Yeah, the thing is that I tend not to think of it as a. I don't really think of it as erasing so much because it's so easy to do. I mean, you just hit Command Z or Control Z or the erasing tools when you erase is very simple. Whereas with when you're erasing physical artwork, it can be really tedious depending on what it is. Even if it's pencil, I mean, if you have a large area to erase, that's a lot of physical work to erase that stuff. If you have a large area to erase in Photoshop, you just draw a marquee around and hit delete, or you just make the brush like 500 pixels wide, and then just press it, and then whatever you want to erase is gone. So it's those sort of adjustments are much easier on a computer, which is why I like whenever there's something that's really, I sort of know it's going to be eraser intensive, I'd rather do them on the computer because it will be a lot easier for me. If something, if you know, if I'm drawing something by hand, then I much rather work out the eraser heavy parts of it on the computer ahead of time, so I can just trace it onto the paper. So I don't. So again, that's all that erasing won't occur on the actual final artboard for me. All right. 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2. All right. Now I kind of Draken says I have to use the eraser tool to shape lines because without a tablet pen. Oh, okay. Oh, so you draw with a mouse. Oh, wow. That takes skill. I could not do that. I guess I could do it, but I would not want to do it. Let's put it that way. If you're drawing with a mouse and you have to go back in with the eraser tool to shape lines, God bless you. That is, talk about tedious. It's a lot of work. What the? Yeah, that's a lot of work. I've had a tablet probably, since the 90s, since I think like 95 or something, and it is the best. It is a godsend. Takes a little getting used to the hand-eye coordination when you're drawing on a tablet and looking at your computer screen, but it is so much better than trying to draw with a mouse. Just 180 degrees difference. So if you're able to sit, I mean, and they're much cheaper nowadays, I think. Getting a good tablet, I mean, you can probably get a good one for $200. So, but maybe less. Yeah, I would not want to draw with a mouse on a computer. Draken says that's why I don't draw and I just color. I'm not insane enough to do that. Yeah, you can color on a computer with a mouse fairly well. Although again, you can do gradients, but you can't do gradations of color, like, you know, from heavy to light, like with an airbrush with a mouse. So even coloring I imagine would be really difficult as well. So yeah, I think any kind of art I think would be pretty hard that way. All right, let's see. What am I doing? All right, so I want this. All this stuff is dark, dark, black, black it in, black it in. All right, good. Now that stuff is good. His hand. That's good. Good enough. Yeah, it says Draken is tedious. I picked up some techniques, but it still all looks off to me. That might just be because I know what I'm looking at. Metal says I color with a mouse. Kind of have to turn the flow real low and go over several times when you want to get real precise. Wow. No, thank you. Alpha Proto says I have an old Wacom or Wacom, 21UX, but I'm looking at getting a Huion, how do you pronounce that? Huion HD 19-inch setup. So is that like a would that be like a what's it called, a Cintiq? The where the actual monitor is your tablet, or the tablet is the monitor, and you're actually drawing on the monitor. Is that what that is? That'd be very cool. And Huans or Huions are quite a bit cheaper than Cintiqs. I heard they're very good as well. So maybe one day I'll get something like that. But I since I don't really draw on the computer that much, I don't know. Or maybe we change my mind. Maybe I would draw on digitally more if I had one. Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? I can't afford one right now, so maybe one day I'll be able to try it out. Yes, it's the tablet monitor, says Alpha Proto. Cool. Okay, I am almost done with this page, I think, in terms of the penciling. Draken says, if things work out for me this year, I'll be getting a new PC and tablet, hopefully before my PC dies. Yeah. My PC is still growing strong. I've had it for, how long have I had this for? 10 years? I think I've had it for 10 years now. Most of my computers last about a decade. So I'm hoping this one will last a little longer than a decade, because I have a Mac, and they're pretty expensive. They cost like around $2,500 to $3,000 each, and that is quite a chunk of change. But if it lasts, since they last a decade, that's that's $300 a year. Then I get easily more value out of it than that. So it's a good trade-off. It's a good trade-off. Alpha Pro says it doesn't have the same feel. It really does feel like drawing on glass. Yeah. I guess you can get used to that, though. I mean, because it can't be that much different than getting used to drawing with a regular tablet, where you draw on a tablet but you're looking up at a screen instead of the actual surface you're drawing on. That took several days for me to get used to. I think when you're working on a drawing tablet, where the screen and your tablet are the same thing, I think I can get used to that easier. The only thing I would have to get used to is the actual feel of the stylus against the screen, But that shouldn't take too long. All right.
Where's the flying beat payroll?
Interesting. Alpha Pro says, I love drawing on paper. It feels like I'm scratching a drawing into the paper. I love the sound and feel of drawing on paper. Yeah, me too. That's why I draw on paper. I don't, and I sort of eschew drawing on a computer. I mean, I've drawn on a computer quite a bit. It's just I don't get the same sort of visceral thrill as I do on drawing on paper. And it is the whole tactile feel of it. You know, I like the feel of the paper, the feel of the paper underneath my pencil. You know, even when I use different types of paper, I mean, you can this is vellum paper, has a tooth to it, and that's definitely different than drawing on really smooth paper. And by the same token, drawing on smooth paper is a lot different than drawing on a tablet or on a screen. It's just something. There's just a feeling to it. Draken says use clay tablets. There you go. Go old school. Go really old school. All right, now this. This needs to be fixed. Ah, dang it. I forgot. That's why. It's like, why are those lines there? Those lines are there for a reason. You just forgot what the reason was. You forgot what the reason was. Ah. Ah. All right. All right.
Well, tell me some more. How does that egg do? Well, for down that home, we'll have dancing school. Clap your hands. Swing out my. You'll take this.
All right. Wrong one.
We all got a name together, but is anyone left out? Think so? Well, that's our guest list. Now, invitations. To the right, dear Alex, would you like to come get card at my house Saturday, March 24th at 8 p.m. My dog is a terrible fact. This is so everyone. favorite show? Well, if you want something to eat or something to drink. All right, now next is entertainment. We want to show Steve a good time. Well, we don't know too much about what he likes. The best thing I know is breaking the ice and getting people to play with him. It's some good
All right.
Oh, it's a glad you're single. And that song, it's so very far from wrong. Oh, it's a glad you're single. And that song, it's so very far from wrong. And I go right merrily along. And they sing, oh, ain't you glad you're single? And that song, it's so very far from wrong.
Hmm. Okay, I think that is it for this page. It's pretty much good to ink. Most of the stuff that I want on here is laid out, so the rest I can sort of puzzle out when I'm actually inking. So that's another page done. Although, hold on. Let me. X, 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 and X. There we go. That's good. So, Alpha Proto says it looks really good. Draken says ink food time. Yeah, it's just gonna be a few days before I can start inking this one and the other pages. I want to finish tightening up these first 7 pages. So 2 down, 3 to go, but some of them have less work than this one did. Some of them have more. Just depends. So, but I will be back tomorrow, or rather later on today. It's 1 o'clock my time. But I'll be back Tuesday for another live stream, and we'll get going with the next page. But I want to thank everyone for hanging out. 8 people were here consistently throughout this whole time. That's fantastic. Thank you very much. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. Please give this live stream a thumbs up if you would, and please share it out to folks on Twitter and Facebook and let people know that I am live streaming and drawing this comic book live in real time for you guys. So I really appreciate all your support and your patience with me. And again, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Even after the stream, just put it in the comments below, and I will answer them. And yeah, I guess that's it. Hope you guys have a great evening, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Okay, you guys stay out of trouble, and yeah, see you soon. Take care. Okay, bye.